The Royal Rumble, the 2019 Royal Rumble. Man, this was a long show. I tried to get into it, and for the most part, I was into it. But that last men's Royal Rumble, I kind of tuned out and got a little bored. But I still finished it. I still sat through it. I even watched the pre-show where we saw the Raw Tag Team Champions. Remember them? Bobby Roode and Chad Gable. Yeah, well, they defeated Scott Dawson and Razor from the Authors of Pain. Why were these two together as a team? It's so random, doesn't really make any sense, but ultimately, who cares? They don't have that many tag teams on Raw or really in WWE anyways. Not enough to warrant two sets of tag team titles, but they keep pretending like they do. So Bobby Roode and Chad Gable. At least we saw them. If you cared to watch the pre-show, they do exist. They're still employed. Also, the U.S. title was defended. Rusev defended against Shinsuke Nakamura. This match was fine. I was just very surprised by the end. Lana trying to warn the referee that Shinsuke was cheating, and the referee didn't seem to care much about it. He was trying to tell Lana to get down, and then Rusev accidentally knocks Lana off the apron, so she hurts herself, and he's just looking at her, telling her to get up, not even checking on her, which was weird. And then Shinsuke hits him from behind, pins him, and wins the belt back. So Rusev had it for like a month and has already lost it. I'm surprised. I almost don't see the point of why Rusev won this in the first place. Buddy Murphy retained the Cruiserweight title in a four-way match. I don't really follow 205 Live with the Cruiserweights, so whenever they do show up on these kickoff shows, I sort of tune out, no offense. But on to the actual event, the pay-per-view. The SmackDown Women's title, Asuka defending against Becky Lynch. This match was great. I loved it. The two of them going back and forth. Becky, hot as ever. Just the crowd loves her. I love her attitude, her whole the man thing. I can't get enough of it. Asuka, it's great to see her being booked as a champion in the way that she should have always been booked. I don't know what those few months, especially over the summer, losing to Carmella, I don't know why we went through that and why that was even a thing. But we're past it. We're past it. She's back to the NXT Asuka with the submission holds, and even these two going back and forth with their reversals and the submissions. And I didn't think that Becky was going to win, honestly. I thought there was a shot. There was a good shot. But there were moments where they had me believe. Whenever there's a match where I'm pretty sure somebody's going to win, if you can get me to, for a few seconds, believe that the other person might win, then that's how you know you got me. That's how you know that I'm along for the ride. This match did that. Becky tapping out, that was also a surprise. I mean, I knew that Asuka would win, or I figured she would win, but by submission, that surprised me and it made me worried about later on in the show. The SmackDown Tag Team Championships, Sheamus and Cesaro defending against The Miz and Shane McMahon. This whole storyline of Miz and Shane, how Miz has been begging Shane to be his tag team partner, how this has all been going on since the whole greatest, best in the world trophy thing. Like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know why Miz wanted to team with Shane. I don't know why this was so important to him. I don't know why Shane eventually gave in and said yes. I don't even know why they got a tag team title shot, because I'm pretty sure they lost their first tag match together against a bunch of jabronis. So, who cares, right? Who cares? They had this match. The match was pretty decent. Shane McMahon, look, say what you want to say about his age, about how old he is, about how it seems like maybe he shouldn't be doing it anymore. And then he delivers. You could say he's a stunt guy. He just does a bunch of crazy stunts, and that's all he's good for. But they're still great stunts, man. At his age, how impressed I am seeing him do it. And in this match, I haven't seen him do the shooting star press since that match with Kurt Angle back in 2001, King of the Ring, Street Fight. Like, I didn't even think he really could do the shooting star press until he pulled it out here. They won the tag belts. I don't know where this storyline is going. I don't know if Miz will turn on him. I don't know if they're just going to stay tag team champions and that's going to be that. Either way, though, this was a good match. I guess we'll see where this goes for WrestleMania. The Raw Women's title, Ronda Rousey defends against Sasha Banks. This match was great as well. Maybe some clumsy spots here and there, but that's expected, honestly. When I watch a Ronda match, I'm just impressed how Ronda can go and make some of these spots look believable, like when her hand was hurting and how she was losing grip on Sasha for some power moves that she usually does. Sasha, again, she had me believe. I went into this thinking that there's no way in hell that Sasha beats Ronda. No way in hell. But then there are moments where I thought, well, maybe there'll be some shenanigans. Maybe she'll get lucky. Maybe Ronda will make a mistake. I didn't think that she would make Ronda tap out. Just no way. If Ronda does eventually lose, when she does lose, it won't be by tapping out. I don't buy it. But there was a few reversals. There was enough times where Sasha was doing some of her NXT Sasha Banks type stuff that I very much enjoyed. Ronda won by pinfall, which surprised me. Maybe they wanted to keep Sasha a little strong and not make her tap out. And then after the match, I love that Sasha did the whole 4 horsewoman thing. It seems like we're building towards it. I don't think it's going to happen at Mania. I think it's something that they want to keep in the background and keep in their back pocket in case they ever want to do a 4 horsewoman match. The Women's Royal Rumble. You could argue that it wasn't as good as last year because last year you had more surprises or you had more legends and it was the first time ever and it was the main event. But this was still exciting. This, I still thought, was the best Royal Rumble match of the night. Better than the men's one. You had Natalya at number 2. She lasted 58 minutes. I never even thought Natalya would have been able to go almost an hour in a match like that. She didn't even do what Sasha Banks did last year. Sasha was constantly outside the ring, taking a break, coming back into the match. And so, okay, fine, sure, she was in it for over 50 minutes, but Natalya was legit in there the whole way through. Lacey Evans as number 1. I don't know that much about Lacey Evans. I've only seen her a couple times in NXT back when she was there. The character I'm still iffy on, but she does command presence when she talks. She does have a certain thing about her. I was impressed with some of the moments she had in the ring, especially when she was face to face with Charlotte and she looked believable. She's just as tall as her. Zelina Vega had a moment where she was hiding under the ring for a while. That was pretty comical. And then the Hornswoggle moment, that surprised me very much. I liked that Mandy Rose and the Naomi thing continued here. Naomi went right after her, and then Naomi eliminated Mandy Rose. And then Mandy eliminates Naomi, which I always thought was an unfair thing about the Royal Rumble. If somebody gets eliminated, they can go back in there and eliminate somebody if they want, and it counts. That doesn't seem right. Or how Naomi, she did her whole shtick of she stayed on the barricades, didn't touch the floor, jumped onto the steps, which was amazing. And then Mandy grabs her, eliminates her. I mean, it sucked rules-wise, fairness-wise, but it pushed the feud, and I did like that. Lana coming out with the injury. I'm actually surprised that the earlier spot of her being knocked off the apron and hurting her leg, like it worked into later on in the show. She was injured. It's amazing though, because they mentioned that John Cena was too injured with his ankle, same injury, and so he couldn't be in the Rumble. But then Lana, who also injured her ankle, is walking out there, barely walking out there, slowly walking out there, but she was still willing to come out, but Cena's not. And the doctor was allowing Lana to walk out there, like nobody saw her backstage, in storyline, of course. And she was struggling to get out, and they still let her walk out there. I love this, though, because I love that Becky Lynch came out and demanded her spot, and finally gave it to her, and the crowd loved it. The crowd went nuts. I went nuts, because I got worried for a second when Carmella came out at number 30 that, oh, crap, is Becky really not going to be in this? But, of course, Becky gets in there. She eliminates Nia Jax, which, thank God, but that won't be the last time we see her. Becky and Charlotte being the last two just seemed right. It did. I should be sick of these two fighting each other, but for some reason I'm not. Charlotte also had me convinced that she could have won as well, but then Becky won, and I loved it. And the crowd goes wild. I can't wait till I see Becky announce that she's fighting Ronda at WrestleMania. I want that to be the main event. It's still possible that Charlotte could join and make it a triple threat, but we shall see. WWE Championship match, Daniel Bryan versus AJ Styles. This was a good match. I like seeing these two go at it. I've been into this feud, the AJ Vince McMahon trying to get AJ to be more extreme. Eric Rowan coming out and helping Daniel Bryan. I don't know how to feel about that. It just seems like they constantly keep breaking up Eric, Harper, Rowan and Harper. They keep breaking them up. They never make them stay together, and Harper's now not doing anything, and that sucks for him. But Bryan having a backup, a bodyguard, a heavy, it makes sense. So I'm interested to see where that goes. Universal Championship match, Brock Lesnar defeats Finn Balor. This was a good match. I love seeing Brock Lesnar fight smaller opponents, people who can go toe-to-toe with him, have a fast-paced match with him. I'm sick of seeing Brock fight guys like Braun Strowman and just bigger guys, Big Show, guys that you've seen 100 times and just those same level of matches. This was good. I was surprised to see Brock use that Kimura lock and make him tap out. That came out of nowhere, but it's good to make you second guess whether or not a submission move might end the match. The men's Royal Rumble. It was almost 11 o'clock. I was pretty tired. I sat through it though. I liked the Elias and Jeff Jarrett moment. Jeff Jarrett as Double J was pretty entertaining. Kurt Angle in there. He's looking old, man. I love Kurt. He's one of my favorite of all time. But whenever I see him nowadays, I get worried. Johnny Gargano, I was surprised to see him come out. Samoa Joe looked dominant at first, but then he got eliminated by Mustafa Ali. Dean Ambrose coming out. There was a couple people who came out, and I sort of groaned, like, oh yeah, that guy. And shockingly, Dean Ambrose was one of them. I know, for some reason, this feud with Rollins and the whole Shield breakup, it started off hot, but I don't care that much about Ambrose anymore. Even when Dolph Ziggler came out, I haven't seen him in weeks, and I just kind of groan when I see him. Baron Corbin, I groan. Lashley comes out, I groan. Luckily, Lashley was eliminated quick, though. Aleister Black, very cool to see him. Drew McIntyre, I like that they gave him the credit for injuring John Cena, so maybe that will be a feud. Maybe that's a WrestleMania match. We shall see. Braun Strowman came out and looked dominant, and I usually like Strowman, but for whatever reason, I wasn't as into him tonight as well. R-Truth coming out as number 30. I thought it was hilarious when Nia Jax came out, attacked him, took his spot. I did roll my eyes thinking, are we really going to see Nia Jax in the Royal Rumble? They're going to give her that honor, really? But then seeing her get 619, super kicked, and RKO was one of the greatest things I've ever seen. You don't see men do moves on women anymore. That used to be something that used to happen all the time back in the day. So seeing it now, that was great, especially on Nia Jax. Seth Rollins eliminating Braun Strowman. I love that Seth Rollins won. I hope we get Seth Rollins versus Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. Very glad he's the workhorse. He's the guy who's been carrying these 5-star level matches on Raw all of those weeks, all of those months. And if Roman isn't going to be a part of WrestleMania this year, Seth Rollins is the perfect guy to go up against Brock and hopefully beat Brock for the belt. That's my prediction for Mania. We shall see if I'm right. I'm surprised that they had Braun take that last defeat. They had him take that last elimination. It's interesting. It's interesting because you would think that Braun would be Vince's guy. So guys, let me know in the comments below, what did you think of the Royal Rumble? I enjoyed it for the most part. It was a bit long, and I got long-winded towards the end. Like, comment, subscribe. Later.